Loma Prieta 1989 earthquake. By Blake Scheinberg and Jet Bowling. Loma Prieta basics. The Loma Prieta earthquake was an earthquake just a little south of San Francisco that went all the way to Oakland on the San Andreas fault line. Loma Prieta became known as the World Series earthquake, as it occurred just before the start of the game. It reached a maximum magnitude of 6.9. The picture on the right shows how severely the shaking was during the earthquake.
And up here is San Francisco and Oakland. Why was it there? The Loma Prieta is caused by the San Andreas fault line. The San Andreas fault line is known as a strike slip fault. A strike slip fault is where the plates slide horizontally, parallel to the fault line. The plates are convergent. The wave traveled from the Santa Cruz Mountains to the city of the San Francisco Bay Area. Up in here.
Details. Loma Prieta struck just after 5 p.m., which is very bad because rush hour traffic was going around during the city. During the earthquake, the collapse of the Cypress City Viaduct killed 42 people. The San Francisco Bay Bridge had damage in some sections, causing cars to plummet in the bay. Top left is the Cypress Street Viaduct, which was the one that killed 42 people. You can see how the first floor collapsed, or the second floor collapsed onto the first floor. Top right is the San Francisco Bay Bridge, which collapsed, causing cars to fall into the water, which is very dangerous.
Thankfully, no one was killed on the bridge. More details. The Loma Prieta shook San Francisco and Oakland, ranging in damage and death. The earthquake is famous because it started right before the start of Game 3 of the 1989 World Series between San Francisco Giants and the Oakland Athletics. All 60,000 spectators were fine. The Loma Prieta left the towns in terror. Many buildings had collapsed onto the first floor. The earthquake in all killed 62 people. The article, this is the title page of an article, was printed a day or two after the earthquake. It shows a Giants player carrying his kid off the field.
How are they being dealt with now? San Francisco has started using dampers. There aren't many dampers yet in the San Francisco area, but San Francisco is working hard to get more in there to protect people. Base isolators. Base isolators allow the ground to move, but not the building above them. They are fairly expensive. The main picture to the left shows a base isolator underneath the bottom of a building. Cross bracing. Making a building flexible while being sturdy. Cross bracing involves long supports with shorter supports for strength. Transamerica Tower is a great example of this building, as you can see to the small picture to the left.
This is a clear picture of how base isolators work. In this building, there are 111 isolation bearings, and 36 of them have lead cores. And here's an animation we found. I'll play this more than once so you guys can see. On the left, you can see how the building is shaking, because there's no base isolators. While on the right, the building isn't shaking because there's base isolators allowing the building to move freely while the ground moves. I'll play it one more time.
Prospects for new earthquake in the San Francisco area. A new report from the U.S. Geological Survey says that there is more than 70% chance that a 6.7 magnitude or higher earthquake will hit the area in the next 30 years, which can pose a huge threat for the area, considering the very dense population of the area. Here's a picture showing the magnitudes over the years and how it's expanded.
How are earthquakes being dealt with? How could they be dealt with? To be fair, San Francisco hospitals and schools have to follow strict guidelines regarding earthquakes. But San Francisco is still unprepared, as most of their buildings sit on soft and unstable ground. As new buildings are being built, engineers are finding new ways to protect their buildings. But over time, the city has become more aware, and they start to reinforce freeway overpasses, bridges, and some municipal buildings have been strengthened, but it still isn't enough. Over the past year, High-rise buildings have become California's #1 focus, which can greatly improve the damage in a likely case of an earthquake. You can't predict an earthquake, which makes them really hard to deal with. One way San Francisco can deal with this is to build their high-rise buildings on a more secure ground and to incorporate more base isolators, cross-bracing, dampeners, and etc.
Here are some facts and recap. The Loma Prieta was a maximum 6.9 magnitude earthquake. It happened just before the start of the World Series game. It killed 63 people and left 3,000 to 12,000 people homeless. Rebuilding cost was estimated to be as high as $10 billion. The earthquake lasted roughly only around 20 seconds. The picture here shows one of the viaducts that was also damaged. You can see how severely bad it would have been during rush hour traffic.
Here's our bibliography. Here's more of our bibliography. Thank you.